Today I'm building a university for my Bloxburg town. And this build idea came from somebody called Milky Moo. Oh, Madam Moo. Great name, by the way. And if you want me to build your town idea, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel and comment down below what you want me to build. And with all that said, let's build this university. Okie dokie, so this second town plot is really filling itself up nicely. If you didn't know, I had to make a second one because the first one was so full. And we're going to be using, I think, the biggest plot on the whole town. This ain't going to be no small university, y'all. Like, I want this school to be bougie and known like Harvard and Yale. Get me into Harvard. I want a roof like this, except I want it to come a bit further out. Something like this. And you will see why in just a minute. Because obviously that just looks a bit weird with the gap underneath. If we head into pillars and get fancy pillar, then we can actually resize this. I feel like some people don't know you can resize these. And this is going to add to the grandeur of the build, which sounds really fancy, but it basically means it's going to make it look more grand. I'm going to go for traditional colors. So like red. Guys, this is going to be the color of the university. No, obviously we're going to pick an aesthetic red. I'm going to put some of these pillars on the edges, even though they're extortionate. $971. Also, I don't know why I just read it like that. I meant 971. Would these pillars look better if they were all white? Nope. Gosh, that looks horrible. Okay, y'all. Now it's time to do the roof. I would love to do an entire video in an American accent. Should I try to do it today? Personally, I just think it's really hard for a British person like me to sound American 100% of the time. I can't even do it for more than 2 seconds. You might be wondering, Reese's, why are you adding these random pillars? Like, are you having a mental breakdown? I'm actually doing this so we can outline this roof part a bit more. If I do this, as you can see, it's a bit wonky, but you get the gist of what I'm doing. But with a bit of messing around, as you can see, I've got quite a nice little design pattern going. But let's move on to the windows and doors. So I know what doors I'm going to use, these French ones. As you can see, they're slightly raised, and you might be confused why, but let me show you. Anybody remember the good old sandbox trick from like 2018? Add a sandbox, and then on top of the sandbox, you could put anything you wanted. I'm going to put stairs. Then you build a basement, put the sandbox in the basement. Can you guys see where I'm going with this now? Fill in the hole, that would be the basement. And as you can see, we get mini stairs. That was so much easier than just putting a basic shape there. And a little tradition I have in my town series is, as you can tell, I love adding signs. Oh my gosh, what's going on? Oh, I've still got the clone tool on. I was like, is snot invading my town? No, I like to add signs onto each of the builds, as you can see. And I see no reason why the university should not also have a big sign. And it wouldn't be a Reese's sign without LEDs. Some might argue that a uni wouldn't have LEDs. I'd argue that they do, even though I've never stepped foot in a uni because I'm not old enough, which apparently shocks a lot of you guys. I don't know whether to be offended or not that I sound that old, but you guys are like, I thought you were 20. I was like, I'm not 20, I'm 17. Now we're going to do windows, and I want to do custom ones. Before I do any designs, though, I want to make sure there's room for 3. Yes, there is. Many people in the comments say, Reese's, you're so talented for being able to make these windows. I'm like, guys, it's so simple. You literally just grab some structural beams and throw them on a window. And how bougie does that look? Welcome to Roblox University, the most unoriginally named uni in town. But that is the main infrastructure of the university. However, I wanted to add a little clock tower up here. You know how sometimes like town halls have clock towers? My uni is going to have one. Start off by making quite a tall square. We're then going to need some corner wedges to make the roof, which made like a little crown on the top. That was accidental, but it actually looks really cool. Doesn't that look like a crown from like Ben and Holly? Who watched Ben and Holly? It was amazing with like the elves and fairies. That was so funny. Something's still missing from the front, so I think I'm going to add some beams. And I've changed it to be red. Oh my lord. That looks blimmin' brilliant if you ask me. I've also just added a couple of like extra things onto the floor 3 to make it have a bit more depth. The last thing I really need to do before we go inside is make some benches outside. I know it's kind of like a cliche to have picnic tables, but what is this channel if it's not a cliche? Jokes. My channel is not cliche, okay, guys? Also, if you don't know what cliche means, it means this. As you can see, I've kindly provided some study books. There's nothing in them, but who's looking close? I'm going to stud the outside with these lights. And the last little thing I always like to do to waste my money is add some bushes. Last but not least, some of these. Oh my gosh, not them. We're not in the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And just a couple of these big pine trees. Ta-da! How fancy does Roblox University look? I'm in love. But of course, this would not be a build without an inside. So recently, I've been using these plain markings to do the outline. And that may well have been the easiest layout I've ever sketched. So let me talk you through it. Right here, we have the foyer entrance to the school or university. Either side is going to be where the reception desks are. As you can see, it's even. To the left, we're going to have the gymnasium, which is going to basically have like a little mini football pitch, a gym, and all that stuff. To the right, we're going to have the cafeteria. And directly in the middle is going to be the principal's office. I don't know if they have principals in university, but I'm assuming they do. Then upstairs, this is going to be a chill area for the students. To the left and right are both going to be lecture rooms, which are basically classrooms for university. Before we do anything downstairs, I think we should make upstairs a little bit safer by adding some railings. Anyway, now let's start on the reception area, which is actually pretty small. I'm going to outline these reception cubbies, as I like to call them. And we're going to use the most default, like, school floor known to man. I think it's called herringbone wood, if you want to use it. I also didn't think about this step coming in. We're probably going to have to put these on the other side. And I'm debating whether to use these full wall ones or not. I really like these. I might use them actually in this entrance. I'm keeping them brown, except I'm making the top and bottom one white. Now we need to add the windows. So I think archways. Wait. Okay, I got scared then that you couldn't put openings on here. But you can, don't worry. This already looks so cool and professional. We're obviously going to need doors to get in here because we don't want to lock the reception people in there. And I'm actually using these doors, which might surprise you because they're kind of old. But I actually think they look perfect for a reception. Looks a bit like a post office with the colours, but let's ignore that. Along the back wall, I'm going to go no holds barred, buying expensive bookshelves, which, yes, are going to have a couple of books in them, but they're also going to contain files. Now, if anything in this university is not exactly how it'd be in real life, please do not hate. As I said earlier, I've literally never even stepped foot in a real uni before. I did research them a tiny bit for this video, and that's why I'm doing a reception, because I'm pretty sure they have receptions. With pillars, that looks absolutely luxurious. Receptionists at schools and stuff, I always just think, do you hate your job? They are either so nice or so rude. Isn't that true? Like, they're never in the middle. They're always like, everyone loves them or everyone's like, who's that miserable one? Hopefully the ones who work here are going to be nice. The kind of things I think you'd need is maybe a cash register, which might seem weird because this isn't like a shop, but universities obviously need to sell like all the books and stuff. They always have a pencil, but they have it on a string as if you're going to like steal it. Like, I don't know who would be stealing a pencil. But anyway, if we add like this little chain, we can kind of recreate that. Oh my gosh, that is so funny. Finish off these little cubbies. We'll add a couple of plants. And now all I've got to do is copy that onto the other side. That was actually simple enough to do. And I'm actually adoring this little workspace so far. I think it looks so cute. This space here is calling out to me. It's like, Reese's, Reese's, please put a carpet. So I'm putting one. Don't worry, I'm here. Oh my gosh, that noise. Let me put my phone on silent. I'm so sorry. Also, I'm going to put a round table in here. No, this is not a mansion foyer, but it looks cute. One last thing I've just thought to add is some banners. You might be thinking, is it a party? Is there a birthday? You know they always find something to celebrate at schools. For example, in the school I'm at right now, they always just have banners up. They're always just random, so I'm just going to add some blue and green ones today. Do unis have football teams? Maybe they do, because maybe you're doing a degree in football, so didn't think about that one, did ya? As we branch out here, we've got to decide what doors we want. I'm just going to use panel doors. And guys, by the way, I'm literally melting into a pool of sweat right now. Sorry if that's TMI, but it is so hot. The weather in England right now is actually incredible. But if you don't have a fan, you are in big trouble at night. You're going to wake up and it's going to be like you're swimming in the River Thames. I've done this cool sort of thing where it's like, it kind of looks really fancy, like this is a mansion. There's always a million chairs to sit in places like this. So we're going to make sure we continue that in my uni. Guys, I really want to go to some fancy uni like Yale or Harvard. Obviously, they don't have them in England, so it would be like Oxford or Cambridge. Like, imagine if I was at Oxford University. I would absolutely scream. But the whole point of this is to have like some console tables at the end of the stairs and then put some trophies on them. Like, I feel like I have an actual trophy in my inventory. Yeah, I do. Look, how cool does that look? It looks like a little trophy cabinet display. Also, this is a chance for me to subtly flex all my trophies. For the most part, I think that's the entryway done. However, if we go up, as you can see, it's actually 2 stories. While we're here, we might as well do the second story. I'm going to copy the sign from out there and have it practically just mirrored on this wall here. And we're going to have to put some sort of roof here because obviously something needs to cover the reception desk. However, I'm just going to be a little bit sneaky and act like you can get here even though you can't. So we might as well make one of like the study areas I was talking about, which is essentially going to be a bunch of tables and chairs combined with the most important thing, a vending machine. And then the other thing, which kind of goes without saying, is having a huge chandelier, because that would just be a waste if we didn't put one in this gorgeous spot. Oh my giddy on, doesn't this look stunning? Next, we're going to do the principal's office, I'd say. The reason I'm doing this next is because it can be as simple as eggs on toast in the morning. So we'll start off by having a big window, because we're going to do slightly different wall trims with these small ones. And then I remember in a school I did absolutely yonks ago, I used like green wallpaper. It actually looks really nice. It does kind of remind me of the starter mansion in Bloxburg, but that's okay. A meeting table is definitely needed, and I'm going to make this a little bit more modern. I feel like this is a different style to what I normally build in. Like, it's kind of a different edge of traditional, which is good because I don't want to build in the same style all the time. On this side, we'll have a little library area and a chair. I was going to say you could bring kids in here for detention, but obviously you wouldn't be having a detention at uni. Imagine you just get called in for detention when you're like 20 and you're just sat on like a tiny chair that's just like, time out. And the reason I'm making this quite fancy is because places like Harvard and Yale, they are fancy. Like, those universities literally look like Hogwarts. I want to go there. And wow, I'm obsessed with this office space, but we don't want to use all our money. I've realized we're actually quite low. But next we're going to do the gym. And I swear they brought in like a gym outline. I'm just scared it's going to be too big. Oh my gosh. Looks like we're going to have to customly build that. Every time I go into training, I still find it weird how there's so much stuff because I'm used to it just being like a treadmill and a football. The walls in here are going to be tiles, but like fancy tiles. We'll have a couple of treadmills. My school never had this, by the way. English schools hardly have gyms. Actually, I say that, but I think the one I'm at right now literally has a gym. But yeah, I think that looks kind of cute there. I'm gonna add a big old mirror behind here though, like look how big this is. And then I also want to have like a little seating area. And this is basically gonna be when the teacher needs to sit down and talk to the class. Yeah, this is definitely the most worst room you've ever seen me build. The only other thing I can think that could really help it is maybe adding some posters on the wall, and maybe even we can treat them to a vending machine down here. So after gym class, I loved vending machines. I still love them at school. I go down there and it's like, Milky Way, yes please. This is the gym. I hope you guys don't think it's too bad. Let's move on now to the cafeteria. We can just use simple shaker islands. We'll have room for the fridges here. I think they deserve windows in the kitchen. No, you've got to cook in darkness. No. A big hood because safety is first, and obviously the hood stops all like the smoke going out or something, and you obviously don't want a fire in your university. I want to add this oven, but do I want to waste that money? No. I'm going to be smart, guys. Like I said, cheap stuff. We'll get these cheap ovens. Since it's mostly like adults in university, there's obviously going to be so much coffee machines. Most places serve toast or something for breakfast. I'd say this looks cute. We can borrow the windows from the reception and put them here. And wow, that is a pretty big squeeze if you're going through that door. But this ain't no Ritz hotel, guys, okay? But it is still nice. I'm going to put some of these hot trays, which can have like meatballs and stuff in them. Next, we're going to have tables. And you might be asking, why aren't you just copy and pasting these? Because these are like 1,000. Look, they're 2,000. Don't know what I was thinking up there. I was thinking I was Jeff Bezos or something. We're gonna make this like, normally I make it aesthetic, but now I'm going realistic. They would have these chairs. These are the kind of chairs they have in schools and colleges. By the way, college in America is completely different to college in England. In England, college you go to when you're 16 and it's basically high school. And then uni you go to when you're 18. But yes, there's 5 tables, which is plenty. Again, we'll add a couple of windows and paintings, but for the most part, that's good. Wow, would you look at how beautiful this actually looks? I think it doesn't look too bad. That's the whole downstairs done. So let's head upstairs where we have 2 more rooms to do. Well, technically 3 with this part. Okay, guys, so I've got a bit more money, and what I've basically done is I've prepped the walls so they all look nice for the classrooms. Before we do the classrooms, like I said, we've got that little chill out zone. So I'm gonna grab some carpets to put up here. And I reckon we should just have a couple places to sit, for example, if you need a rest. And then just some more study study tables, because that's what uni's all about. Study, study, study. It is so sunny in real life right now, guys. I can hardly see my computer screen because the sun is like beaming right onto it. I mean, I'm not complaining about the sun. I love a bit of sun. Do you know what I mean? And the 2 rooms we're going to do, we've got to decide what subject. I think I'm going to do medicine. Oh my gosh, yes, you defo go to uni to study medicine. I know exactly what to do here. So I know this seems basic, but I'm going to start off by putting a couple of paintings on the walls. And I was thinking we could make these like x-rays, and unis actually sometimes have good facilities. When it comes to like the actual education, they obviously do. I was thinking here we could have like a temporary medical station. And I have built a hospital before, so I should have a good idea of how to do this. We'll start by putting some fences. Oh my gosh, did I just call these fences? I've been playing Bloxburg for too long today. And then on these, we're going to put soap. And obviously it's important to stay hygienic, but also these kind of look like mini medicine bottles. On the topic of hygienic though, we'll have a couple of sinks in here. And then behind it, I'm going to get the painting of the man frozen. And we'll change this to marble when we do the tour. In front of these, I'm actually going to have a couple of these chairs. And no, this is not to have a fun, nice relaxation in the middle of class. This is going to be where people can like lay down, maybe dummies and stuff, to do checkups to make sure you're doing your doctoring well, or nursing, or whatever you are. We'll have the teacher's desk there. Although I think at uni, they're called lecturers. Over here, we'll have a couple of storage units, which maybe have some like medical equipment in there. I'm just going to splash out on these tables at this point. And with some roof beams, that is our little medicine room done. And now we have only $5,000 to do this last classroom. I don't know what class this is going to be. So let's just say they're taking a degree in law or something, which is good because the police station is literally right over there. So instead of building a courtroom in here, they can just head all the way over to the police station, and then they can do visits to the courtroom, because that's actually a thing that happens in real life. Like unis and schools will do trips to real life places for work experience. And if we're being 100% honest, that is my excuse for making this horrendous last classroom. But this classroom won't take away from how incredible the rest of this build is, which is now 100% finished. I don't know what language that was, but it is 100% done. So let me change all the paintings, then we can look around. Alrighty guys, here we are outside of Roblox University. Just before we go in, I've just realized Town 2 is worth $1 million now. And that's with only 1, 2, 3, 4 builds. So by the time it's done, it's probably going to be 2 million like the other one. Anyway, let's appreciate the outside of this build. I think it looks stunning. I think it really does look like a uni from the movies, which I love. The real gems are inside, so that's where we're heading now. First of all, as you walk in, it's sort of like the foyer to a mansion. Like, I really feel like I'm in Hogwarts or a really fancy place right now. We have 2 ways to go. We can go left or right while admiring all of the school's trophies. Left is the gym, so we have the actual place where you'll sit and like be lectured by the teacher. Here is where you can actually get your run in or your walk if you're me, because I'm slow. Here is where you can maybe play football. Let's see if I can get a goal. Goal! Oh, I missed. And I put these signs up, these cringy signs that unis would have. Directly to the other side is the cafeteria, which is just your fairly local cafeteria, isn't it? And then here's just the kitchen where the chefs will work, kind of an irrelevant room. And then this is the principal's office. So they can have meetings, maybe with the school board in here. There's a little reading area and of course the desk, which actually has a lovely view over the neighboring town. Which one's better, guys? Mine or Bloxburg's? Nah, I'm joking. Anyway, if you head upstairs, there's a little study area over there, which you technically can't reach, but no one needs to know that. To the right, we have this room, which I'm literally just showing you very briefly. It's so bad. It's so bad. However, to the other side, this classroom is much better, and this is basically the medical classroom. So as you can see, there's lots of x-rays on the walls. I put a healthy diet, which actually now I'm looking at it, just looks like bread and like nuts. So probably shouldn't only eat that. You need a balanced diet. And also there is medicine over here and a whole little demo set up so you can actually try out everything you learn in your lecture. And that was me building a uni for my Bloxburg town. I hope all of you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you did, please do subscribe. And thanks to all you guys for watching this, and I'll catch you all later.